Yo, what's up, y'all? This philosophical from the rap review room, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? We got an album review by Soulogik, System Air. I got a lot of thoughts, a lot of things to say about this, y'all. Let's get it. Let's talk about it. Let's review it. We got Soulogik, latest album, System Air. Let's get it. Got to the intro. What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Again, it's philosophical from the rap review room, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? I really appreciate everybody that has liked and subscribed to the page, to the channel, y'all. Really appreciate it. I'm on a road to 1,000 subscribers. Um, definitely appreciate that. So let's get it, y'all. I have reviewed Soulogic's Amor Fati 2. He's been in an interview. Uh, got him coming on for a review soon. But let's talk about system error, right? Uh, I want to break down something, right? I want to give you a definition in certain respects to system error, right? System error symbolizes a breakdown in the structure we trust, whether it's technology, society, or even the human mind, right? Let's keep that in mind. I want to keep that in mind, right? Right within the context from the album, right? Let's talk about it. System error. I want to first again say a system error symbolizes a breakdown in the structure we trust, whether it's technology, society, or even the human mind. So, how does that relate to system error in regards to Soul Logic? Latest album just released August 6th, right? A little while ago, right? A couple weeks ago, actually, maybe week ago, right? A little bit over a week ago, right? Um, let's again in relation to this album, right? It represents the moments when crashes, faith tested, a relationship glitch, mental health stutters, or the world systems, whether it may be justice, politics, or culture, right? Fail to operate as promised. I'm going to repeat that in a second, right? Right. Not speaking from a technical malfunction, yes. Yes, from a technical malfunction, but also represents disruption, the awakening, a reboot, or reset, right? Disruption, right? When the rhythm of life is interrupted, awakening, being forced to seek hidden flows in the system, right? That's this is going to be an amazing breakdown, right? And I'm going to correlate this in a second, right? And then a reboot or reset, the chance to rebuild or reprogram yourself. System error, right? System error, right? Disruption, awakening, reboot, or reset. System error. Correlating to faith, science, or even the nerds out there, IT, as myself, right? So basically, it's been worded and defined as system error, the cracks in reality where truth shows through the noise, where the human soul fights against the corrupted programming. And that's exactly what we get on this album. Where I'm going to correlate it to, again, I'm going to repeat it here, right? A system error symbolizes a breakdown in the structure we trust, whether it's technology, society, or even humankind. I'm going to break it down in so logic's rhymes are kind of like code, right? And I'm speaking in IT forms, right? When you're inputting code into the machine, into the computer, and you're sending it somewhere, you're telling it to do something. And so logic's flow, his lyrics are a form of code, right? He's spewing this code to the production. And what that does is that code specifically brings a specific type of system error. Disruption, again, when the rhythm of life is interrupted, he's speaking on that life, right? Awakening, right? Being forced to see hidden flows in the system, right? bringing certain forms of flow experiments to beats production, reboot or reset, the chance to rebuild or reprogram yourself, the chance to do something different, to experiment something different, right? And I'm going to go through the track listing here in a few moments, right? But I just wanted to bring that up. System error. And I'm going to be repeating this throughout this album. And for all you nerds out there, for all you IT guys out there, you're going to definitely understand that. But I'm also going to keep it simplistic to a point where this album is for you. It deserves your ears. This album definitely deserves its flowers, right? So, um, right, let's get it. Let's get it, right? This album has 16 tracks, right? Let's start with the schizoid humdrum. I want to say this right now. Amazing intro in terms of this album, right? He has a line in here. He says, "The boogeyman seen the house haunted. Should have." Yo, what's up, y'all? This philosophical from the Rap Review Room. What's going on, y'all? If you would like your music reviewed here, whether it may be a track, an album review, or an interview, don't hesitate to reach out. I first ask that you subscribe here and also follow me on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram. Let me know who you are as an artist, and we can definitely get your channel reviewed here. And this is a channel that promotes a lot of up and coming artists, whether it be a track, an interview, or also an album review. This information is also down in the description box. If you have any questions, definitely look down in the description box. Proceeded from Jump, Schizoid, Humdrum, Friend doing a seance. So that's just an example. And again, this album is, and I apologize if I'm not doing it, it's fully justice. There's so many meanings, there's so many things on this album. You know how sometimes we listen to albums, we hear it one time and it's gone a week later. No, no. This is not that type of album, and I'll even equate it to the project he had with Dr. Lecter, even Dr. Lecter's projects. These are in relation to system errors that I'm still listening to Amor Fati too, right? I'm still listening to Amor Fati. He is building a discography that deserves an immense and infinite amount of replays that you're not going to get on the first listen. And this is exactly why I feel this way about Lupe fans. And not to bring that up, because I feel like, again, same thing with I did my review on JID, right? The replay value, right? There are certain things and certain ways of doing tracks, production, albums. I equate it to almost you're writing a book, right? Am I going to continue to want to pick up your book over and over and over and over again? And there are some albums that I felt the execution wasn't done very well. And there are some albums where it's like, okay, you break down different bits and pieces. But this album right here, and Soulogik continues to do something here where you cannot get it on first, second, third, fourth listen. And it's one of those albums that is just a year from now, you're still asking questions like, man, what did you mean by that? Right. But, and this is why when I first heard this project, even second listen, third listen, and even more listens, right? I'm getting a lot of Soul Lupe on this, right? Execution, lyrics, system error. Again, I'm going to repeat again, but starting with Schizoid Humdrum, right? Just speaking in terms of like speaking from his mind, right? Going back to system error, disruption, when the rhythm of life is interrupted, right? System error, right? So, banger, first track. Brass Knuckles. Again, D's track, once again, right? It just feels like this is one of those tracks where it makes you he So Logic says something there like the truth twisted to make you feel like you're a slave, right? And you're constantly fighting against society, right? System error, right? And speaking in terms of of disruption, right? Again, disruption. These trucks says Brass Knuckle tosses in the cage with Chuck Liddell. Again, Again, like when you know how hard it is when you're writing a book, but also you put the book out there, being able to figure out system error as far as like putting an artist like D Struck on a track like this, correlating to the same things. Brass knuckles. You know how brass knuckles, you're in a fight, and even brass knuckles, you can equate that to wrestling, where if brass knuckles are forms of like cheating to win a match. So really you're doing what you gotta do to fight the system error, right? Brass knuckles, banger, right? Punching through issues, societal issues, right? Magical crowns, right? And I have here, right? This is a track saying basically meaning temporary forms of achievement, those small achievements you either achieve to a point where it's gone, you don't care about it anymore, or you never achieve, it's because of you. We in society put certain magical crowns, system error, again, system error, right? Speaking on society here, we put on certain magical crowns in forms of small forms of achievement, in forms of like participation awards, second place, third place, 19th place achievement awards, right? Completion awards, society awards, where it's like at the end of the day, you're not number one. Small forms of achievement where you either don't care that you've achieved it later on, or you stop yourself from ever achieving it in the first place, or it gets to a point where it just doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. So again, right? Magical crowds, banger. Stay strong. I reviewed that here. Definitely check out our review. Banger. My favorite track from Soulogik, right? Fading light. Again, more thoughts on the mind just potentially giving up on love and the way you're meeting her so many times, right? Fading light. What's a fading light? System error, right? System error again, where it feels like that fading light of getting to finding love. Will it happen a fourth time? Can it happen a fourth time? You'd be surprised. Again, that's the mindset here. That's the reboot and the reset there, right? The chance to rebuild and reprogram yourself. Can it happen again? Right? Fading light, banger, right? So next, proper etiquette. I review that here, banger. Marcel, that's one of my favorite verses on this album from him, banger, right? Beyond, speaking again on more thoughts there. And which remember I said system error again. Proper etiquette speaks on a lot of. I said in my review where you have two different perspectives. One that's trying to do the right thing, put on a suit and tie, and then you have another one who is basically has crossed the line. Definitely check out my review for that. Right beyond more thoughts of the mind, system error. Continuing there, right? Tropical fantasies, right? We're basically speaking about it's a continuation of the Mozambique story, right? You're basically taking a trip to Mozambique. More emphasis on that. Tropical Fantasies again, one of my favorite tracks, right? Don't lie, right? Next track, expressing thoughts, but more speaking on the conscience, right? But is it more reality than it is a lie, or is it generally a lie? You're basically fighting with your conscience. System error. Again, every track symbolizes some sort of system error, right? What happens, right? You're sitting there putting in the code, right? Perfection, where you're feeling like, again, perfection. You're feeling like you're putting in the proper code. And then there's a system error, disruption, reboot, reset, right? The awakening, right? Correction, reprogramming yourself. Again, man. Again. Dope. Dope. Greeting Hand, I reviewed that. That's definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. That's down there. Fighting Spirit. I needed more of this. I wanted more. I want more of this. Whenever we hear a new album, I feel like a fighter spirit is basically speaking about, you know how a fighter spirit, you gotta have a lot of courage and hustle and like spirit to be a fighter. Any type of fighter. UFC fighter, boxer, and he's correlating that here. System error, right? I have some thoughts on mirrors and windows, right? So, in my opinion, my thoughts on it is basically comparing mirrors to windows to what you're looking at. You're looking in a mirror, you're looking at yourself. But when you're looking out a window, you see things. System error, right? A reboot, a reset, where you're seeing things that you know, right, are out there in the world, and you're striving for, right? But you see more than just yourself. Comparing it to a mirror and a window. When you're in a mirror, you see yourself. You see the cracks, right? You see the cracks in the mirror. You see the cracks in the you. You know what you have to do. A window, you're not just seeing yourself. You're seeing out there and what you want to achieve. And he's basically saying just finding your copeness in music, and basically saying comparing a mirror and a window, finding your cope, right? His is music, having a mic, and he's comparing that to what's yours. That's so dope, man. That's so dope. System Error, the title track here is dope. Really amazing track. Amazing track. Basically speaking on once the mind compels it, speaking on the mind and science and faith and code. Again, System Error. What a dope track, man. What a dope album. And I'm telling you right now, right? Fighting Chance is my favorite track. Again, we got Destruct on this. Best track on the album. It's one of the best verses I've heard from Destruct. And one of my favorite tracks. Let me know if you want me to review that. Uh, Prisoner of War is speaking on a perspective of his story, continuing on Africa, the war in Africa right now, comparing it. And you can hear little tidbits of what's going on here in the United States, continue and happening more in the United States, actually, right? And finally, him. It's just a great ending track of him finally winning the war, or at least calming down the war, winning the battle, not necessarily the war, which is a really dope track, man. So we got 16 tracks. I'm definitely giving this album a 9 to 9.5. Now, this again, this, and I'm gonna mention a lot of producers, right? We got Amino Domini on this. We got a lot of different producers, right? Like I said, we got Marcel feature on this. We got Destruct feature on this. We got a lot of like production beats, Ethan Major, Destruct, Boger on this, man. Really, really dope producers, man, that I've worked with also, man. But I'm giving this album 9, right? Definitely deserves a listen. It deserves multiple listens. Really can't wait to hear what the next chapter is as far as Soulogik. Let me know if you guys want an interview. Again, definitely can't wait to interview again on this because I have a lot of questions. I still have a lot of questions. I'm still going to be listening to this. Excuse me. But definitely a 9 to a 9.5 on this. This is definitely going to my albums of the year. Again, that correlation with system error in terms of societal issues, faith, relationships. It just, this whole album is just speaking in code. And I like this. I like this. The execution was done. I like the way the concept of this. Really, really dope project. Really, really dope album. Definitely deserves your listen. Multiple listens, actually. And that's kind of the type of artist Soul is here, y'all. Definitely appreciated reviewing this. Shout out to Soulogik on this. Really, really dope project. Really, really dope album, y'all. Giving that a 9. All right. Definitely continue to like and subscribe to the page. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Really appreciate everybody that has commented. I try to engage with all the comments, y'all. I'm philosophical from the rap review room, y'all. I love y'all. I'm out, y'all. Peace.